Okay, now I'm going to talk about another really common grammatical error. And this one is, it's sort of the opposite of a run-on sentence, right? A run-on sentence has too much in it and a fragment doesn't have enough. So a fragment is what we call an incomplete sentence. So it's sentences that don't stand alone, right? And there are a few reasons that a sentence might be incomplete, okay? So the first reason is because it's missing a subject. Okay, so a sentence might be considered incomplete if there's no subject, right? For example, goes to the store. Who goes to the store, right? The sentence needs a subject. The woman goes to the store. The second reason you might find a fragment is because it's missing a verb, right? So Emily in the car. There's no verb there. There's no action, right? What did Emily do in the car, right? It's missing a verb. Emily drove in the car, right? So we always have to have a subject and we always have to have a verb. And then there's a third reason. So if the sentence begins with a conjunction, it can create an incomplete sentence, right? So sometimes people think that so long as a sentence has a subject and has a verb, it's automatically a complete sentence. But if your sentence begins with a coordinating conjunction or a subordinate conjunction, which I talked about a little bit in my video about run-on sentences. If it starts with those, it can create an incomplete sentence, a fragment. So, for example, the coordinating conjunctions, which are the fanboys, as you may have learned them, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. If your sentence begins with those, it automatically creates a fragment, right? And so he went, but they didn't. So that's why I'm sad. Or you could come with me, right? If you look at these sentences without the conjunctions, right? That's why I'm sad. You could come with me. Those are complete sentences, right? They have a subject, they have a verb, they have a complete thought. As soon as you tack a conjunction onto the beginning, then it's not a complete sentence anymore, right? Because that suggests it needs to be connected to something else because conjunctions are connecting words, right? Now it's not connected to anything. All right, subordinate conjunctions are words that link complete sentences and incomplete sentences. So for example, we went to the movie because school was canceled. Since the movie was sold out, we went to the mall. If a subordinate conjunction isn't linking an incomplete sentence to a complete sentence, it creates a fragment, okay? Because school was canceled. Well, what because school was canceled, right? Since the movie was sold out, well, since the movie was sold out, what, right? Now it's not a complete thought, okay? There's not a little trick for remembering all of the subordinate conjunctions the way there is with the fanboys with the coordinating conjunctions. There's a lot more subordinate conjunctions, but some of the most common ones would be although, if, until, while, since, because, right? All of these connecting words. So anyway, if you are beginning a sentence with either type of conjunction, you are likely creating a fragment, right? Because it has to be connected to something else, and it's not. Okay, so the types of fragments. We have a phrase fragment, right? And that's kind of the classic one that we think of, a sentence that is missing either a subject or a verb, right? Was so happy is missing a subject, right? Who was so happy? The people at the store, missing a verb, right? What were the people at the store doing? So both of those are phrase fragments. The other one is the conjunction or dependent word fragment. This is a sentence that contains a subject and a verb, but it begins with a conjunction, so it's no longer complete, all right? But we're here now. If you want to, since you asked, right? All of those are beginning with either coordinating or subordinate conjunctions, and so they're not a complete thought, right? They have to be connected to something else, and they're not, so they're fragments. Okay, so quick review. What are the 3 reasons a sentence might be a fragment? It's missing a subject, right? So the person, the entity who is completing the action, right? It's missing a verb, right? It's missing an action word. The action is that is being done, right? It has to have both a subject and a verb. And then the last reason is because it starts with some sort of conjunction, right? Such as and, or, because, since, if, right? Then it automatically becomes a fragment. So the difference between a phrase fragment and a conjunction or dependent word fragment is that a phrase fragment is missing either a subject or a verb. A dependent word fragment is beginning with a conjunction. Again, you don't have to worry too much about those technical terms, but it is good to just kind of have an idea of the different types of fragments so that you can remember, how to find them, how to avoid them, how to fix them. And in terms of how to fix them, it's pretty simple fix, right? So if you're missing a subject, you have to add a subject. If you're missing a verb, you have to add a verb. If you're starting the sentence with a conjunction, either take the conjunction off of the beginning of the sentence or put something before it so that it is actually connecting the sentence to something, right? Because again, a conjunction is a connecting word. All right. And that is it for fragments. So if you haven't already watched my video on run-on sentences, make sure that you watch that one as well, so that you can get both of those lessons in order to complete the quiz that goes along with this. And then there's also going to be a third video that's going to be on parallelism, also called parallel structure. So make sure you watch that one as well.